Hello and welcome to the Spivey Consulting Group YouTube channel. We're here to give you advice on all sorts of topics related to law school admissions. My name is Nick Everdell. I'm a senior consultant with Spivey, and I was formerly the Director of Enrollment at Yale Law School and the Associate Director of Admissions at Columbia Law School. Today I'm here to talk to you about the Yale 250. It really is one of those interesting essays because nobody really knows what they're supposed to write about. And Yale doesn't provide much guidance on that. And I think that's on purpose. They really want to give you an opportunity to write whatever you want and whatever comes to your mind. That being said, having seen probably thousands of 250 words essays over the years, I do have some advice for how to do it well. The thing that I tell most of my clients and applicants when I was at Yale is to keep in mind that it really should be the best piece of writing you've ever produced. Now, I know that's intimidating, but it is Yale. And one of the things that struck me, having worked at Yale, is just how strong the writing was of the students who went there. And that was typically exemplified by the personal statement and the 250-word essay. And you see how many Yale graduates go on to do incredible things with writing, even not related to law. So that's one of the things, is to always remember, make sure it's really well edited, make sure it flows and it grabs the reader's attention. It should be great writing. Then I'll tell you just a couple of things not to do. It should not be a why Yale essay. It should not be a diversity statement. It should not be too creative or personal. Don't send a haiku. It shouldn't talk about the themes left over from the personal statement either. It really needs to be something that shares a new little aspect of you. It's hard to coach because of that. And you may come up with ideas other than what I talk about here. Some of the best 250 words essays that I ever saw were ones that taught the reader something, or that argued something and made an argument, showed two sides of an issue and made an argument either in favor of one or maybe the pros and cons of each or something like that. So I always say, pick something that you're passionate about. Some of the most interesting 250-word essays I've ever read, both as a consultant and as an admissions officer, were about things like eggplants or lichens or historic gold hand watches. And the people who had written these essays had a passion about these things. They were hobbies for them, or they just really liked eggplants for some reason. These are the things to consider. Find something you're passionate about, whether it's a hobby or a vegetable or an argument that's always intrigued you. And then talk about it and make a clear, reasoned take on that topic that you choose. Yeah. And I think, one of the things to remember is that the people reading your file at Yale are professors. They like to learn things. They like to be taught things. This is an opportunity for you to do that. At the same time, while it shouldn't be that personal, you should still be a little bit of a character in it, or at least we should have some sense of why you're talking about this topic. Don't write a 250-word essay about string theory as an English major, unless there is some reason. Unless you actually do have knowledge. The person reading this is going to wonder why. The one about lichen that I remember, the applicant actually was a naturalist and went out and studied lichen for a while. And so we knew that through the rest of the application, so it didn't come out of left field. Sometimes if it feels like it comes out of left field, you might want to add a little bit, sharing, why you have the authority to speak on this topic. So I know when I say too personal that, there is some consideration for what does that mean. There is such a thing as too much information in any part of your application. There are things just, they don't really need to know about, your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend or, how that relationship fell apart. That being said, there is this difference between the 250-word essay and the personal statement, where the personal statement really is an exploration of who you are and what makes you tick and how you think about the world and all these things that are personal on a certain level. Whereas I think the 250-word essay doesn't have the same purpose. It's an opportunity for you to share something that you love and how you write and how you argue something. Sometimes it's you have to be personal to do that. So in terms of finding a line, it's not an opportunity, I don't think, to get deep into your soul. It's really more of an opportunity to express what interests you and what you're passionate about. That being said, I think one of the most important things to remember with almost any aspect of the application is sometimes there are no rules. If you can do it well enough, you can break some of these rules. And so I've certainly seen 250-word essays that are more personal than one I'd advise here. But I think in those cases, you do have to be careful. So it's a tough thing to write, there's no question, but I think it's really important to just see this as an opportunity to write well about something that you want to write about. Enjoy it, have some fun with it. Don't have too much fun, it still needs to be a formal, serious essay. But you do have, at least with a topic, the opportunity to be creative and share a different part of yourself. So that's the Yale 250. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, like, comment on our YouTube channel, and keep an eye out for future videos from former admissions officers at Harvard, Vanderbilt, Penn, and some of the other schools. If you're interested in more law school application advice, please look us up on spiveyconsulting.com and feel free to reach out. We have so many well-qualified consultants who are only too willing to help. Thank you.